Hi students, in this class we are going to discuss about the very interesting topic, that is second law of thermodynamics. So this is unit 1 class 25. So in this class we are going to cover these topics. First one, second law of thermodynamics, and second one, comparison between Kelvin-Planck statement and Clausius statement. So this is very important for our exam point of view. So all of you listen carefully. So let us see first topic, that is second law of thermodynamics. So how can we define second law of thermodynamics? So what is the statement of the second law of thermodynamics? So let us try to understand the second law of thermodynamics with the example. So let us see the diagram. So second law of thermodynamics. So here generally we know that the direction of the heat, generally we know that the direction of the heat, generally heat will flow from hot body to cold body. Heat will flow from hot body to cold body. So this is possible. But whereas the heat flowing from cold body to hot body, this is not possible. This is not possible. So there are many ways to state the second law of thermodynamics. There are many ways to state the second law of thermodynamics. So heat can flow spontaneously from hot body to cold body, but it will not flow spontaneously from cold body to hot body. So this is the general statement of the second law of thermodynamics. This is the second general statement of the second law of thermodynamics. I hope you understand. So let us see another example. So here in this diagram, so here the water is flowing spontaneously from higher level to lower level, not lower level to higher level. So this is possible, this is not possible. This is not possible. This is the second law of thermodynamics uh, explanation. I hope you understand. Next, let us see second law of thermodynamics. So in second law of thermodynamics, we have two important statements. In second law of thermodynamics, we have two important statements. They are, first one, Kelvin-Planck statement, second one, Clausius statement. First one, what is the first one? Kelvin-Planck statement, and second one is Clausius statements. So let us see one by one in the next slide. First, let us try to understand the Kelvin-Planck statement. What says the Kelvin-Planck statement? What is the statement of the Kelvin-Planck? What is the statement of the Kelvin-Planck? So let us try to understand the statement of the Kelvin. So here, if you want to understand the Kelvin-Planck statement, so let us observe this diagram. So here, imagine that you have a pot with a plant in it. As you are watering it, you noticed a grass growing around the plant. So how sure are you that the water you are giving is absorbed by the plant alone? I hope you understand this example. So likewise, in the same way, so here, if you want to understand the Kelvin-Planck statement, explanation of Kelvin-Planck statement, here we have a high temperature reservoir, nothing but it is a heat source, and again here we have a heat engine. So high temperature reservoir supplies the heat to the heat engine. Whatever the heat, uh, whatever the heat getting from the high temperature reservoir, so the total heat will not converted into work. The total heat getting from the high temperature reservoir will not converted into work. This is not possible. This is not possible means impossible. This is impossible. So whereas here we have a high temperature reservoir or heat source. So here low temperature is the reservoir. So nothing but it is a heat sink. In between we have a heat engine. So here the heat engine is getting the heat from the high temperature reservoir or heat source. So whatever the heat getting from the high temperature reservoir, so this heat engine will convert some amount of heat into work, and remaining amount of heat rejected to the low temperature reservoir. Some amount of remaining amount of heat is rejected to low temperature reservoir, that is heat sink. Okay, so here whatever the heat supply getting from the high temperature reservoir, so that total heat will not converted into work. Some amount of work heat is converted into work, and remaining amount of heat is converted heat is rejected to low temperature reservoir, that is heat sink. So what is the work output here? W is equal to the difference of the heats, the difference of the heat. So work done by the heat engine is equal to W is equal to difference between these two heats, that is QH minus QH minus QL. I hope you understand. So this is possible. This is possible. This is not possible, but this is possible. This is the explanation of the Kelvin Planck statement. So finally, what does Kelvin Planck statement give us? What does Kelvin Planck statement give us? Means Kelvin Planck statement for second law of thermodynamics gave us the understanding that no engine can give the 100% efficiency. Once again listen. What does Kelvin Planck statement gave us? Kelvin Planck's Kelvin Planck statement for second law of thermodynamics gave us the understanding that no engine can give us 100% efficiency. 100% efficiency. I hope you understand about the explanation of the Kelvin Planck statement. So finally, let us see the final statement of the Kelvin Planck. So how can we define, or how can we say the statement of the Kelvin means? See here, what is the statement of the Kelvin Planck statement means? So it is impossible to construct an engine working in a cyclic process whose whole purpose is convert heat energy into work. So example heat engine, or we can define in other way, there is no engine in the world, there is no engine in the world to convert total heat into work. This is the another statement of the Kelvin Planck. Or we can say the another statement, that is, it is impossible to construct 100% efficiency engine. It is impossible to construct 100% efficiency engine. So these are the statements of the Kelvin Planck, given by the Kelvin Planck. Okay, I hope you understand about the explanation of the Kelvin Planck statement and the statement of the Kelvin Planck. So I hope you understand. So now let us see second statement, that is Clausius statement. So now let us try to understand the statement of the Clausius. Before that, we have a example. So here we have a high temperature reservoir, and this is a low temperature reservoir. In between we have a device. So this device extract the heat from the low temperature reservoir, from the low temperature body or reservoir, whatever it is. Okay, so heat will flow from low temperature to high temperature body. So this is not possible, means impossible. This is impossible. Whereas here we have a high temperature body, and this one and another left side we have a low temperature body. In between we have a device. So that device extract the heat by giving the external input as work input. So here we are giving the external input, work input. So that means that is a compressor. So it will compress the heat from low temperature to high temperature. Means, so here the heat is flowing from low temperature to high temperature body, low temperature body to high temperature body. This is possible. This is possible. So this is the statement of the Clausius. This is a statement of the Clausius. So finally, what does Clausius statement give us? What does Clausius statement give us means? Clausius statement for second law of thermodynamics gave us the concept of refrigeration, of the systems and heat pumps, since they were working on the given phenomena. They were working on the given phenomena. So finally, what is the statement of the Clausius? What is the statement given by the Clausius? Means without any external device, we cannot transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature. We cannot transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature without any external device. Any external device. Example, refrigerator is the example. Refrigerator is the example. Or we can say the same statement. It is impossible to create self-acting machine working in a cyclic process which transfers the heat from low temperature to high temperature without any external device. So these are the statements of the Clausius, given by the Clausius. I hope you understand about the definition of the second law of thermodynamics. Types in second law of thermodynamics, again we have two statements. They are Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement. I hope you understand about the statement of second law of thermodynamics and statement of the Kelvin Planck and statement of the Clausius. So now let us see second topic, that is comparison between Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement. Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement. So this is a Kelvin Planck statement, left side, and right side is a Clausius statement. So it is applied to heat engine. Kelvin Planck statement is applied to heat engine, whereas Clausius statement is applied to heat pump and refrigerator. Heat pump and refrigerator. It is a negative statement. Kelvin Planck statement is a negative statement. It is also negative statement. So Clausius statement also negative statement. So third comparison. It is based on experimental observations and no mathematical proof. It is based on experimental observation and no mathematical proof. Whereas in Clausius statement, it is also based on experimental observation and no mathematical proof. So I hope you understand about the second law of thermodynamics, Clausius statement, Kelvin Planck statement, and comparison between Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement. I hope you understand. Thank you. Thank you so much.